Hey everyone, I'm Charting Man Dan of TheChartGuys, trader of the last 13 years, trading the cryptocurrency space the last 6 years. And in this video, we're going to talk about number one, the big bull move we saw in Bitcoin. Why did it happen? How could we have known it was going to happen? And where do we stand from here, bigger picture, as well as what we want to see in altcoins if this move is going to stick and be for real. So let's get into it. So first things first, the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ we had a big bear day in the markets yesterday. And yesterday was really the first day that the stock market bears proved something convincing to me in the last bunch of weeks. And we closed really weak. We then had earnings after hours, and Microsoft and Google saw bullish reactions initially. And where we stand now, pretty much a double top at the high of yesterday and still fairly weak. If we look at the S&P 500, it is down at the lows of consolidation, and it's still weak. So the big question that we have is the weekly timeframes, because the weekly timeframes look very similar to Bitcoin, at least before yesterday. And the statement for me is the bulls are just fine as long as weekly EMA 12 holds as support. So we can see that's coming into play for SPY, and that's coming into play for QQQ. If those weekly EMA 12s hold, it's a bull flag. If they do not hold, then the retracement gets more significant, and we could see some weakness in the broader market be prolonged weakness. So we're going to keep an eye on that. We're also watching the dollar, which has a triple bottom now. The low of today bounced just above our double bottom support, and so we're going to be keeping an eye on that as well. And we know crypto bulls want to see the dollar break this double bottom and stay weak, and currently the dollar bulls are defending the support. So let's look a little bit in hindsight into yesterday's move. And I talked about this on Twitter where I was posting about it, the narrative. So, you know, I'm a technical trader. I'm not all technical. No trader wants to be 100% technical or 100% fundamental. You want to be somewhere on the spectrum. And for me, I'd say I'm 85% technical, 15% fundamental. And so there are narratives that we need to be paying attention to. For example, during the CVID dump, there were narratives of airliners and cruise liners and restaurants all being crushed. And we saw the stay-at-home names, Netflix and Zoom, all breaking out. And that's a narrative. And every time we saw, CVID bearish news, that narrative would strengthen because people then have this mindset, and it's not just retail, it's big money as well. They have the mindset of, I've seen this before, and this is what this means. And so we had this a month ago, or 5 weeks ago, whenever it was, with the banking scare. When SVB was going under and all the regional banks had risk and there was a run on the banks concern, and we saw metals go up, we saw Bitcoin go up, and we saw tech names go up, and we saw the regional banks drop. And that's the narrative. If there is regional bank fear, that is how capital expressed that narrative. Where was capital moving? That's where it was moving. And so then we had weeks where, that kind of died down and it left the forefront of the headline narrative. It left the forefront of the story. And yesterday it revived itself in a big way. And part of the reason why it revived itself is one of the regional banks, FRC, had earnings and had a huge gap down and is now in free fall and at risk of joining SVB. We're down 70% in 2 days. So at risk of joining in the smaller banks that, might collapse and go under. And so there is still fear around these smaller regional banks. And so as soon as that narrative started, this is one of the most clear examples of me benefiting as a stock trader trading crypto. Because if your head is only in crypto yesterday, you don't get any of these clues. Whereas we saw FRC weakness, we saw Janet Yellen starting to talk about regional banks, and the narrative just revived itself again. Like, the regional bank fear is back. And so instantly we start looking at what happened last time. Like, okay, let's just do this again. And so we started looking at, the tweet was at, essentially yesterday what I did was recognize this is happening again. And then I, make a post in our Slack chat room for members. And then I buy some Riot. And then I make a post in our Slack crypto room. And then I buy some MARA. And then I make a post on Twitter. So it's me frantically trying to, spread this information as much as possible, as well as positioning myself for this trade. But at 1:38, let's see, I posted about it in our chat room at 1:34 and said, watching Riot for Bitcoin to potentially benefit from the banking fears. Bitcoin's very tight. And that was right here, right before the volume poured in, and we go up 6% in less than an hour. And so a few minutes later, I go on Twitter. Banking fear narrative returns as FRC breaks down. Watching Bitcoin, gold, and silver bulls. Riot is benefiting. And that was literally right before this volume spike. And then the Bitcoin bulls took off. We then had the Bitcoin bulls follow through with a second leg up on the earnings reaction after hours. After hours, we had Google and Microsoft earnings, and that was right here. And so this is Bitcoin responding to those earnings as well. So, you could look at it and say, luck, lucky timing or whatever. But again, if I am doing something as a full-time trader, there are thousands of other people that are doing the same thing. I'm not special and unique in that regard. So if I have this idea, okay, banking fears, that means last time this happened, that means I'm positioning for it to potentially happen again. If I'm doing that, thousands of other people are doing that at the exact same time. And then we see it show up with volume, and then the bots and the algos react. So you have retail and big money acting on the narrative. You then have that spike volume. You have the algos and automated trading systems recognize volume spikes, and so then they have their actions, whatever they're coded to do, and you got this big time breakout. And so Bitcoin went up 9 or 10% from when that banking fear hit the market yesterday midday. And so now Bitcoin looks a whole bunch like a weekly bull flag. And that's the question from here. Is Bitcoin a weekly bull flag? And for me, the answer is the probability increased about, maybe I was 45% sure before yesterday, and now it's 70% to be a weekly bull flag because of the move up that we've seen. And so we're going to be watching very closely, what does the dollar do? What does the broader market do? But Bitcoin bulls are very comfortable. We can also look at the dominance chart and see that this was a Bitcoin-centric move, because that's what the narrative was. Bitcoin led the way up. Why did we see this move happen here on the dominance? Because of the banking narrative version 1. This is now the banking narrative version 2. It's the same thing, just coming back around again. And so the question is, can we see a weekly bull flag confirm on the dominance chart and break to a higher high? Keep an eye on this dominance level. Remember, this dominance level is a triple top for years. 48.92, 48.45, 48.90. So 48.92% is the largest dominance that Bitcoin has seen since May of 2021. So we're potentially going to hit 3-year highs. Yeah, no, 2022. 2-year highs if that level breaks. And so if this is going to remain a Bitcoin story, then we're going to anticipate Bitcoin is going to remain the coin to be in. What happened last time was Bitcoin had the breakout, Bitcoin traded sideways at 30,000, and the dominance chart dropped, and altcoins played catch up. So what we want to see is that same thing. We want to see Bitcoin establish a range of sideways trading, and we want to see altcoins play catch up, because again, what that means is the profits are rotating around, and we're seeing people jump from one coin to the other coin. And again, that's a healthy bullish ecosystem for a sector to be in, rotation. So it's great if Bitcoin's going up, but once it stalls out, once it tops out and trades sideways, you do want to see those altcoins play catch up as well. You want to see confidence in the entire space, not just Bitcoin. So if you look at Bitcoin short term, we're due for 4-hour consolidation, and patient traders are waiting for a 4-hour pullback, knowing that a 4-hour higher low is the most likely scenario, and also knowing that we're going to be watching for first back burner trades. First 5-minute oversold conditions has not happened since the yesterday breakout. First 15-minute oversold conditions is what you're waiting for if you're looking for a 4-hour higher low. So anticipating a 4-hour higher low is absolutely the most likely scenario next time we consolidate, and we're just going to be watching those short-term oversold conditions to help dictate when that is being set. Just a quick note, Lori has a live stream on Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern, and she's going to be talking about finding your market edge as a trader. And this certainly applies to crypto or any market, and I'm just grabbing the link right now, but it's private. And even if you can't make it Thursday at 5 p.m., we will send the link to your email once it's recorded. So posting that link in the comments here, and definitely worth checking out, because again, finding your edge as a trader is obviously very important. I have my edge as a trader. I love oversold bounces. I love backburners. I love equilibriums. And she's going to help you identify what your trading edges may be. All right. So we got the dominance going up. We got Bitcoin going up. We know we're going to be looking for some consolidation. Riot, big bull move up, but we're nowhere near the high still. And so there's a lot of work to do for Riot and MARA. MARA is a little bit stronger, but we can see that resistance is still 20% plus away. So a great bounce. We were looking for this bounce, and now we have it. But I'm also going to be looking for a daily lower high. Unless Bitcoin goes straight over 31,000, I'm anticipating that these miners are going to set daily lower highs, and a lot of altcoins are positioned to set daily lower highs because they are lagging behind this Bitcoin move. So if Bitcoin's not going to break 31, then these altcoins are definitely not going to break their resistance. But even if Bitcoin does break 31, the weaker altcoins are not going to break resistance. So we'll look at some of these altcoins in just a moment, but you know, the mindset of the trade that I attempted to make in Ethereum over the weekend was we're due for a daily bounce in the short term. Once we get that daily bounce, we're going to be scouting daily lower highs. So here we are now, 3 days later, 4 days later, we have the bounce. I stopped out on Ethereum, but certainly had a good day with Riot and MARA yesterday, so it's all good. We've got the daily bounce, and now we're scouting the daily lower highs. I would just be much more confident doing it in some of these weaker altcoins than I would be in Bitcoin itself. So again, we'll look at these altcoins in just a moment. First, let's go to Ethereum. Same thing, ETH, nice bounce, but anything under 2143 is just a lower high as far as I'm concerned. You know, a bear is going to make an argument this is a head and shoulders. And we can't say it's not. If the stock market were to fall apart over the next week, then it would be possible that it could drag down crypto. Right now, crypto is the strongest market that I'm seeing in the last 24 hours of trading. And so we saw a bullish react, gold saw a little bull reaction to this news and this narrative, but no follow through. So it's clear that crypto has benefited the most from yesterday. And so it's just a question of, can we keep that up? But I'm scouting an Ethereum lower high, and I'm going to be looking at if we see 50% bounce retracement recovery, then we're going to be looking for a tightening range as the most likely scenario. The bigger the bounce retracement, the more likely we see continuation. The weaker the bounce retracement, the more likely we drop to lower lows. So when you're comparing individual altcoins, compare the high of the move, the low of consolidation, and where the retracement stands. And we'll do that with some names here in just a moment to show you how we're going to compare who's stronger, who's weaker. ETH BTC is still all bears. Dominance chart's going up. That's not surprising. ETH BTC never confirmed the daily uptrend from this big breakout from the Shanghai fundamental stuff. Never confirmed the daily uptrend. But we're going to look for a daily high or low, and then a lower high and a tightening range here as well. But no sign of it. 4-hour downtrend very clear, keeping Bitcoin stronger than ETH. Litecoin has been strong, but anything under 103.42 is just a daily lower high. We've got an upper wick forming on today's daily candle. So I zoom into the 4-hour time frame and say, all right, we are in a 4-hour uptrend. We will have to lose the 4-hour uptrend if we're going to see daily consolidation. If I'm a bear, if I'm looking for a daily lower high on Litecoin, this is my ideal scenario. I want to see a pullback here a bit further. I want to see a hold of EMA 12. I want to see a hold of the 89.87 high or low. And then I want to scout a short on the 4-hour lower high. And I put my stop over the high at that point, and I want to see a head and shoulders play out. And if that's going to play out, I want to see LTC BTC losing the daily higher lows, which it is doing right now. This is a good start. So we just lost, well, we're right at this daily support. And we've got 2 lows down here. And if I'm a bear, I want to see, again, Litecoin, give me a little more pullback. Give me a 4-hour lower high to short and to top fish. And then when it confirms the 4-hour, if it confirms the 4-hour downtrend, have LTC BTC fall through this level and reach the weakest it's been comparative to Bitcoin in over a month. That's the ideal scenario. And so we'll see if we get it. Link, again, just another example. Look at the amount of space Link has for a daily lower high. Anything under 880 is a daily lower high. So we zoom in and we watch the 4 hour. Well, we know anything above 694 is a 4 hour high or low. We've got a lot of space to maintain the uptrend. So it's possible we keep this bounce going. We have to be watching for bearish patterns on the 4 hour time frame to develop if we're going to have confidence that a daily lower high is shaping up. And we also have to see the BTC pairings of the coins that we are scouting bearish to show weakness. And most of these altcoins BTC pairings are showing a lot of weakness. Ideally, you want to see them at fresh lows. Mana BTC, lowest level in months. Sand BTC, same deal. Matic BTC, same deal. You want to see the altcoins with BTC pairings in clear downtrends, no support nearby, lowest levels in months. That's your ideal bear setup. So Matic is going to be looking for a daily lower high, anything under 119. Double bottom at 94 is definitely worth paying attention to. Bulls are going to try and rally off of there. All right. ADA-ETH, getting real tight, condense it to the 2-day time frame, and just viewing it as an equilibrium. And viewing it low, high, higher, low, double bottom, just a tightening range. So we need to see a clear break of this range. You can see, just look at the weekly inside bars. We're grinding weekly EMA 12, and we've got 4 weekly inside bars in a row. So we know volatility is coming. If we break bear, we're going to test the lows. And if we break bull, we're going to look back at this zone. But it's a prolonged downtrend. And so it's the burden on bulls to prove to us that things are shifting. So we must break this sideways range bullish. Can I do live during market hours? I do every day. Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, hour and a half. We have other people doing Thursday and Friday morning. I do Monday afternoon. That's what we do with the Chart Guys. We live stream 3 times plus a day. That's where you'll find the live streams. How is it possible I'm on top of different stocks and sectors so brilliantly and not get confused? How can you get to be like me? So, time. Experience. I'm 13 years in doing this. I've been doing this every day for 8 years. I've been doing this 7 days a week for 8 years. I'm not exaggerating. 360 days a year for 8 years. It's excessive. And one of my edges is I've put in more time than most human beings can. There's 1% of traders in the world, maybe less, probably less, that have put more time in than me in the last 8 years. And that's going to change eventually, sooner rather than later, because it's unsustainable. But that's how I am able to stay on top of everything. Because and I find this as well, when I'm in it every day, it's like I'm speaking the language of the markets. And then when I get out of it for a few days, getting back in, there's a lack of continuity. And so if you're constantly, in it, full on in it, and then you're full on out of it, and then you're trying to get back in it, it's definitely a lot harder. And I struggle to do that as well, which is why I've stayed in it for 8 years in a row. And so that's definitely an aspect. And that's one of the major adjustments that I'm going to have to make in my trading career when I do shift, and when I'm not 100% in it all the time. I'm going to have to get used to catching up, playing catch up. Because right now what I do is I do pre-market prep at 6 a.m. And I do that for over an hour. And then I go take a shower or whatever, drink a coffee, we go outside, water the plants, come back in, and now I'm at it from 8:30 a.m. to noon. Take a little 30-minute break, hour break. Now I'm back in it from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. The market closes. Now I make my market review video for an hour. And that is me summarizing. So I prep, then the trading day, then I summarize everything that I just observed, and then I go to bed and wake up at 6 a.m. and I do it all over again. There's no gaps in continuity. It's just this flowing, constant stream of market action. Now I'm rambling and I lost my spot. But it was a good question. All right. Appreciate the likes, Jack. Likes and shares. That's what keeps me making content. If I make content on a subject and it has more likes than usual or more views than usual, then that's my motivation to make more content like that. And if content views and things are dropping, it's like, well, why am I doing this? I don't need to make a video today. So express your desire with button clicking. I'll do a couple reviews here in just a moment. Going to work through the other questions first because they're more entertaining and engaging for me. Thanks, Dave. So interested in some of the alerts. Will the indicators that we have right now, the back burner, you know, I love the back burners. We've got the trend scout. I mean, really, if you go to our website, we've got in-depth videos, not only of the indicators themselves, and actually YouTube as well, but if you go on each page, there will be information on the indicator, a video about the indicator, and we also have on YouTube a video specifically about the indicators as well. So I'll post that link here. So I don't know what kind of trader you are, but there's a good bit of information about the specifics of those indicators if you are interested. Appreciate the kind words. That's my face. QQQ, still weak. Low of the day test. Curious what indicators I used in the past that I have since abandoned. I used to use EMA 4 and 8. I changed it for 12 and 26 6 years ago, and I've never looked back. I used to use Bollinger Bands. I used to use MA 20, 10, 20, 50, 100, 200. Ditched them all. Crypto trading changed me as a trader. Pre-2017, I was 7 years in trading, and that's what I was using. Bollinger Bands, MA 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, and then I started playing around with EMA 4 and 8. I used PSAR for a while, Parabolic SAR. I used, what's the other one that's similar to RSI? Oh man, how am I forgetting this? I ditched it because it was doing the same thing as RSI. Stochastics, fast stow, full stow, played with those for a while. And then crypto in 2017 just showed me price action, trends and price action and patterns. And then EMA 12 and 26 came into the picture. I saw it work really well with crypto. I brought it over to stocks. It started working really well for stocks for me. And so I ditched 75% of the stuff on my charts and then just stuck with 2 EMAs and RSI and volume. And I definitely simplified things. And I obviously had, you know, the last 6 years of my trading way better than the 6 years prior to that. Coin is a lead bear. Coin has a bear narrative. Coin has the SEC stuff. Anytime I'm looking bearish crypto, I'm looking to short coin. And I was talking about it pre-market. You know, I'm looking to short coin on the gap up open, and I blinked and we were down on that candle. But I shorted coin here. Looks like I was out fairly quickly. Missed the better short. That was a nice rising wedge there. Oof. Now I'm looking back at this. I stopped watching it, but I shorted Riot. Had a nice short on Riot, but this was a beauty rising wedge to set the hourly lower high, and real nice bear follow through from there. So essentially, I look for the weaker name, just like altcoins. If you're looking bearish in crypto, find the weaker alts and short them. If you're looking bullish in crypto, find the stronger coins and long them. It's the same thing with the crypto stocks. Coin is my bear go-to, and either Riot or MARA is my bull go-to, depending on the day. They shift day to day which one's stronger. Does the order book have any kind of weight in my decision making when I go to make a trade? No, it used to. In 2017, the market in crypto was way less liquid. I used to be able to influence the order book as an individual. And that was a pretty wild time. And then it became much less, as there became higher volume, more liquidity, more market makers, more bots and algos, more traders. I then stopped looking at the order book. I used to do a lot of trading based on the order book in 2017. I used to trade level 2 when I was trading penny stocks, when a little bit of money could move things a lot. And then once I moved up to the big boards and once crypto moved up to the big time, I then found the order books much less useful. Still can be useful for sure, but not like it was. Have I always done quick mental math when working out break even? Yes. I have a good brain for quick mental math. And that's something I take for granted, in all honesty. In second grade, I won the game where you have beans. And if you know you have 12 beans, you then put your hand behind your back and you hold out 4. And I have to tell you how many are in your other hand. And I won that game in second grade. I got a crown and everything. Unfortunately, I made Kevin cry because he never wins anything. I wasn't trying to make him cry. I was just good. But I have always been good at mental math. And it definitely helps to be able to figure out that quick sell half. Now here's my break even, blah, blah, blah. So I have never used a calculator with trading. Hope Kevin's all right. I like these questions. These are good. See, these engage me. You know, can you look at this chart? But here's a support, here's a resistance. Gets old. Can I talk about not catching the knife? LMMD and a bunch of stocks are looking pretty attractive. If you're going to attempt catching a knife, you have to have a level to trade off of, whether that's a clear level or a dollar risk amount that you're willing to take. I will give myself one attempt. If something is in free fall, like I'll try playing against the momentum. I'll give myself one try. If I stop out, that's it, I'm done. Can't try again. Because the last thing you want to do is try and stop out and try and stop out and try and stop out. And then you're saying, what am I doing? I'm an idiot going against the momentum. You can try one time with a limited amount of risk. That's it. I did that with Baba yesterday. Talked about it in the trade review broader market video. Baba was in free fall and it had a nice bounce. I have since exited a whole bunch of that position, including this morning pre-market. But I talk all about that trade in depth in the stock market video from yesterday. But it was the same thing. I'll give myself one try, and it worked out, fortunately. No, when I say water the plants, I mean water the plants. Big old garden. All right. Options D-Gen. Just started using the Trend Scout indicator last week, and it's a game changer. Backburner indicator. Awesome. Glad to hear. That's the goal. Bundle for all. We should probably do that, huh? I'll get on that. Thanks for the suggestion. Oil just collapsed. We'll see about that. There's a big dump. We're in gap fill territory. The gap is now filled. Daily bear flag confirmed. The market is weak in the short term. I mean, this is the last 2 days. Look at SPY. SPY the last 2 days is the weakest it's been in the last almost a month of trading. The weekly consolidation is underway now. Bitcoin is benefiting from very limited brief consolidation because it responded so well to this banking narrative. All right, we'll look at some in just a moment. MACD, I did use the MACD. But guess what? Guess what EMA 12 and 26 are? That's the MACD. You're looking at the MACD on my chart right now. I don't have a histogram, but I've got the EMAs that the MACD is made of. So when I'm looking at the crosses of these EMAs, it's like having a built-in MACD. Thanks, Ricky and Dave. Feeling the love today. 10 more likes and we'll really be feeling it. Tesla's definitely due for a daily bounce. Got to shape up that hourly trend change. Bearitive. I like that. We're going to have to look for a daily lower high on Tesla after this, but I'm anticipating Tesla is going to give us a monthly higher low compared to 101. It's going to take a while to set up, but all right. Awesome ER, look to have you back. It wasn't internet troubles with my audio issues. It wasn't mic issues. I figured it out. I'm streaming right now from my laptop. You're looking at my desktop, but I'm specifically streaming with a brand new laptop. And so the jump from my audio from my desktop to the laptop, from the laptop to YouTube, they would glitch. And so now my audio is just going straight into the laptop. So you're looking at my desktop screen, the audio is going into the laptop. I've just configured it so that it's working. What platform is good to trade on? It depends on where you're located. If you're talking crypto, there's not many options in the US. Coinbase, it depends on what's important to you. Is FDIC insurance important? Is being registered and licensed in the US important? If the 5-minute oversold for Bitcoin is still well above hourly EMA 12, do I look to 15-minute oversold? So here's what will determine whether I'm looking at 5-minute oversold. If I've got FOMO and I've got no exposure and I really want some, I'm going to make an entry on 5-minute oversold. But if I look at the 4-hour and say, all right, well, here's the 4-hour. I know we're due for consolidation. Then I can just be a bit extra patient. And essentially, if I'm looking for an hourly higher low, then I'm looking at the 5-minute. If I'm looking for a 4-hour higher low, then I'm looking for the 15-minute. So it depends on what the time frame is for the backbone of my trade setup. And then depending on what that is, I use the shorter term time frame that's most associated with it. It's possible that Bitcoin sees 5-minute oversold conditions mark a 4-hour higher low. If this closes at an inside bar and then it breaks bear and we see first 5-minute oversold conditions, that would be what a 4-hour bull flag would potentially shape up as. That's a possibility. But there are patient traders saying, yeah, we'll probably bounce first 5-minute oversold, but I think we're going to pull back a bit more on the 4-hour, and so I want to be more patient. And it's just an answer of, do you want to be aggressive or conservative? Because aggressive is going 5-minute and conservative is going 15-minute. How often? Every day. Every day that you've ever seen me, but always after the close. We're talking ganja. So I'm, the break of the stereotypes in the sense that everything that I've accomplished in terms of consistency and time and effort, it's all 8 years of the chart, guys. It's my wind down. It's every day and the market's closed. And that's how I've been able to do this 360 days a year, 8 years in a row. Definitely watching uranium and the monthly equilibrium for CCJ. Target for 5-minute backburner. Honestly, I don't use targets. There are indicators out there that will tell you at what price a certain RSI level will hit oversold. I don't use those because I'm either going to be at the computer and seeing it happen live, or I'm not going to take that trade. I forget what the name is of that indicator off the top of my head, but they do exist where they show you the lines. This is where 15-minute RSI would hit oversold. This is where hourly would hit. Hello, Herencia. How many years in were I at age 30? Happy birthday tomorrow, ER. At age 30, I was trading for 8 years at that point. As far as full time, 100% effort, I would say maybe 4 years in at that point, 4 to 5 years. I'm coming up on 35. So yeah, full-time 100% trader mode has been about the last 8 to 9 years. 9 years. Before that, I was doing it. I was studying, but it was just a small piece. You know, I was road tripping around the country and stuff in between. How do I handle stress of trading? Do I feel drained? Some days I feel drained after market close, depending if it's, honestly, as an empathetic person, if everything is dumping, I can have a green day when everything is dumping and I still feel like I lost a bunch of money because people are fearful and they're panicking and I feel it in my bones. So that's difficult. I really dislike when that happens. But as far as, you know, burnout or whatever, it's just, you know, I have always positioned myself where I can walk out the door and be hanging out with goats or in the garden. I've positioned my life so that it has that drastic balance aspect. If you stuck me in a New York City apartment, I would not be a good trader at all. I know that for a fact. I would not be happy. I would not be mentally balanced. So I have shaped my lifestyle to balance the stress aspect of things. And also, once you get a certain level of experience, you know, I can lose $10,000 in a day and it's just, well, I'll see you tomorrow. It's just you do something so many times, you become numb to it. The same as anything that you do. You know, if you were going to walk a tightrope 30 feet up in a tree, if you've done it 600 times, you don't think twice. If you're doing it your first 6 times, it's extremely stressful. So you get to a point where it's just, you've done it so many times, you've felt those emotions so many times where it's just another day. And, you know, you become numb to it. No buy sell alert for crypto. Thanks, Joe and Ryan. Talking about correlations. Do all the same principles apply on longer term time frames for correlations? They do. And I've been using them more in my swing trading than I ever have before for day trades. Or no, I've been using them more on daily time frames for swing trading. And it's helped me, you know, with Tesla short. It's helped me with NVDA short a little while ago. It's helped me with some longs. So yes, you can definitely apply the same principles on longer term time frames. I have not tried 50 RSI with 26 EMA. I don't doubt that it works well. You got it, RT McLean. How would I look for a short at the moment on Bitcoin? Top fish, if anything. So here's a 30-minute nice and tight equilibrium. So this is still very bullish, obviously. High, low, lower, high. Trying to hold the support level here. I mean, really the only setup that I like here, if I want to look bearish, just knowing the crypto market, you know, normally I'd say, well, you just look to short here and you put your stop over $30,050. But I know how crypto trades, and what I would want to see to have confidence is a break of $300 or $30,050 with no follow through. And then I use that level as a stop. I would want to see a break, no follow through, and then I look for the 4-hour consolidation to start. That would make me the most confident. Same thing as Litecoin. Remember we were talking about this Litecoin short, and I was saying, you know, how I want to see this set up. If this trade is going to come to me, I want to see a bull break of this double top with no follow through, and then that's my short signal. And it worked very briefly. It worked enough to be, you know, risk-free and stop out break even, worst case, because we pulled back 6%. But that's the kind of move that, you know, as the bots and the algos and traders get more and more used to technical analysis and key support and resistance levels that are horizontal, you get these kinds of breaks of those horizontal support and resistance right before the reversals. It's happening more and more. And so that's how I would want to see a short. Give me one more bull break, no follow through. Big old 5-minute candle with an upper wick, and then use that level. Top cannabis stocks to buy and hold for the long term, they don't exist at this point. Someday, but not now. How do I deal psychologically knowing that trading is just outsmarting others and not producing any goods or providing a service? Does it weigh on you? No. I extract my capital from the market and then I use that money for doing good. I inject money into my local community. I donate to strangers. I've been very fortunate enough to give away 3 of my used cars along the way. The last one, I didn't know the people. So use the good fortune that you gain from markets in other aspects of life. Support your friends' businesses. I give my friends interest-free loans who are starting their businesses. There are many different ways that you can do good with capital gains. I know plenty of traders with ADHD. Can certainly be, I don't know if it'll be useful. I have no idea what it's like, so can't talk much about it. BITI is a Bitcoin short. Yep. Do I ever get lonely working from home every day? No, I got my dog. I love being alone. I love being alone. And whenever I need to get out of the house, I just get out of the house. Going tonight to hang out with a couple of friends that I haven't seen in a while. All right. If you have a capital loss, then unfortunately you can't be helping your community much, but hopefully someday that turns into a capital gain. All right, quick check-in again here. Bitcoin's just tightening up. QQQ still weak. We did hit a new low of the day. Baba still weak. Just checking the names that I've been interested in. Tesla's got hourly lower high set. So Tesla's got to change the hourly trend if we're going to see a daily bounce try and shape up, but there's still no indication of it at this point. Financial sector still weak. I've got some shorts of the financial sector in my IRA. Got some ARKK shorts in my IRA. Nope, not in my IRA, but in my other account. So I got a good bit of shorts and longs at the moment. But how much did we pull back on Riot? Should have held that. No, that's good. So here's relative strength in crypto. Riot's been going up for 30 minutes while QQQ's been going down for 30 minutes. It's just a quick way to see relative strength. All right, I'm not doing requests today. I appreciate you all sticking with me, but we always do these requests, and I enjoyed these questions so much more. So I appreciate you all that asked those questions. And we'll check back in Friday. I'll be back, and I'll do more requests on Friday to make up for it. Thanks again for the likes and the shares and the support. I definitely enjoy connecting with you all. That's why I keep doing it. And we will see you soon. Do good things with your capital gains so you don't feel guilty.